There is a place that rarely appears on any map, not because it is hidden, but because nothing important ever happened there. No battles, no kings passing through, no great buildings rising or falling, and that is exactly why it is peaceful. This place exists quietly, resting between stretches of land that people once walked across without remembering why they were going anywhere at all. You are not arriving here. You are not visiting. You are simply becoming aware of it. The land does not announce itself. It does not change suddenly. It does not welcome you or push you away. It simply remains. The ground beneath you is firm, pressed flat by years of slow footsteps, by carts that moved carefully, by animals that passed without thinking. Nothing here is soft, nothing here is sharp. It is all settled. The air feels still but not heavy. It rests against you without temperature, without pressure. Breathing feels easy here, not deep, not shallow, just enough. There is a narrow path stretching forward. It does not curve dramatically. It does not lead toward anything interesting. It simply continues. You begin walking, though it feels as though your body already knew how to move here. Each step takes the same amount of effort. No more, no less. There is no reason to hurry. There is no reason to stop. Time does not seem to matter along this path. Moments do not stack on top of each other. They drift past slowly, never asking to be remembered. On either side of the path, the land opens gently. Low fields spread outward, covered in dull green grass that has grown this way for years. Not lush, not dry, just enough to exist. Nothing moves unless it needs to. A few blades of grass lean, then straighten again. There is no wind pattern, no rhythm. The breeze comes when it comes and leaves without explanation. Your footsteps make a sound, but it fades almost immediately. The ground does not echo, it absorbs. The sound becomes part of the earth, as if it was always meant to be there. Far in the distance there may be a shape. It could be a small cluster of buildings. It could be nothing. It does not become clearer as you walk, and you realize it does not need to. The journey here is not about reaching. It is about continuing. Your shoulders feel relaxed. Not because you told them to be, but because they no longer need to hold anything. Your arms hang naturally. Your hands feel warm, heavy, still. Breathing remains steady. Each breath arrives fully, then leaves completely. Nothing lingers. The path changes slightly beneath your feet, not enough to notice immediately. The ground becomes smoother here, more worn. This is a place where people once walked daily, not because they wanted to, but because life required it. They carried tools that were simple, wooden handles, dull metal edges, nothing decorative, nothing impressive. These people did not rush. They woke when the light allowed it. They slept when the darkness arrived. Their days followed patterns so repetitive that time itself seemed unnecessary. You sense this history without seeing it, not as images, not as stories, just as a feeling of familiarity. The land remembers even if no one else does. Your pace slows slightly, not because you are tired, but because slowing feels natural here. There is no reward for speed, no punishment for stillness. The sky above remains pale, neither bright nor dim. Clouds drift slowly, thin and quiet. They do not form shapes worth noticing. They do not block the light completely. Everything stays balanced. Ahead, the path widens just a little, enough to feel different underfoot, not enough to change where you step. You notice how safe it feels. Nothing shifts. Nothing surprises. The ground supports you without asking anything in return. A sound drifts in from somewhere far away. It could be metal touching stone. It could be wood settling. It could be nothing at all. The sound fades before it becomes clear. Silence returns undisturbed. You continue walking. Thoughts begin to soften. If one appears, it does not finish forming. It dissolves before it can connect to anything else. There is no storyline here, no sequence, just presence. The path slopes downward very gently. Your body adjusts without thought. Steps remain even. Breathing remains calm. You feel heavier now, not tired, just grounded. As if gravity has increased slightly, pulling you comfortably into yourself. The land around you opens further. The fields stretch wider, their edges fading into the distance. No fences, no markers, nothing claiming ownership. This is land that belongs to time, not to people. Your awareness drifts outward, then slowly returns inward. You notice your breathing again, not consciously, just faintly. Each breath is slower than the last, longer, more complete. Your chest rises gently, then falls. There is no pause needed between breaths. They find their own rhythm. The path levels out once more. Flat. Even. You stop walking. There is no reason for the pause. It simply happens. Standing still feels just as natural as moving. The air remains the same. The light remains the same. Nothing reacts to your stillness. After a while, or perhaps only a moment, you begin moving again. The movement feels softer now, as if your steps are quieter, less noticeable. The land begins to change in shape, but not in character. Low rises appear to the sides, not hills. Just gentle forms. They do not block your view, they do not invite exploration, they exist without purpose. Your thoughts become less defined. Words lose importance. Meaning fades gently. The sound of this narration may feel distant now. That is expected. You do not need to focus on it. You can let it drift like everything else here. The path curves slightly, so slightly that it almost feels straight. Ahead, the space opens into a wide, empty stretch. There is nothing waiting there, and that makes it safe. You step into this open space. The ground feels unchanged. The air remains neutral. Your body relaxes further. Your neck softens. Your jaw loosens. Your face feels smooth, unheld. Breathing becomes automatic. You no longer notice the beginning or end of each breath. They simply occur, one after another, slow, even, comfortable. Nothing new happens here. Nothing needs to. This place exists without events, without memory, without expectation. If you are still listening, that is fine. If you are no longer listening, that is even better. This story does not require attention. It only needs to exist. The light begins to shift again, very slowly. Edges soften, colors blur slightly, shadows stretch, then stop. You slow once more, then stop, standing quietly. There is no reason to sit, no reason to move. You simply remain. Your body feels supported from the inside, as if it knows it is safe. Awareness drifts. Thoughts dissolve before forming. Time loses shape. The path beneath you feels endless, not in a way that concerns you, but in a way that comforts you. Endless means there is nothing to reach, nothing to miss. The sound of this narration fades further into the background. It becomes part of the quiet, not separate from it. Your breathing is deep now, even, heavy. Each breath gently pulls you further into rest. Nothing new will happen. Nothing needs to. This place remains exactly as it is, and that is enough. You are free to rest here, free to drift, free to sleep. You remain in this quiet place without needing to decide anything. There is no moment of arrival, no moment of beginning again. You are simply still here. The ground beneath you feels unchanged, firm and familiar, as if it has always known your weight. Breathing continues on its own, slow, even, unnoticed. The open space around you does not feel large or small. It feels sufficient. Nothing presses in, nothing pulls away. After a while, or perhaps immediately, your body begins to move again. Not because you chose to walk, but because movement feels like the natural next state. Your steps are quieter now than before. So quiet that they barely register. The path appears again beneath your feet, though it never truly disappeared. It stretches forward in a straight, unremarkable line. No signs, no markers, just ground pressed smooth by time. The light above you remains pale and steady, not morning, not evening. A kind of in-between that never asks to be named. The air feels the same against your skin, neither warm nor cool. It does not shift suddenly. It does not carry scent. It simply exists, allowing each breath to feel complete. On one side of the path, the land dips slightly, not enough to draw attention, just enough to notice if you were looking for something to notice. Beyond the dip, the field continues. Grass grows in uneven patches, some areas thicker than others. No pattern, no design. Growth happens where it happens. You realize how little effort it takes to walk here. Your legs move without resistance. Your feet land without hesitation. Nothing pulls, nothing drags. The simplicity of movement becomes soothing. Your thoughts soften even further. If one appears, it does not hold shape. It fades before it can attach itself to anything. Memory feels distant now, not gone, just unimportant. The path passes through a stretch of land that feels older, not visibly different, but heavier with quiet history. This is a place where days once repeated themselves without variation. People woke, worked slowly, rested when the light faded. Their lives were made of tasks that never ended, and because of that, nothing felt urgent. You sense this repetition without seeing it, not as images, just as a rhythm embedded in the ground. Your steps unconsciously match that rhythm, steady, unrushed. Breathing remains slow. Each inhale arrives gently, each exhale leaves fully. There is no pause between them. The path narrows slightly, not enough to restrict you, just enough to feel more contained. The fields on either side seem to pull a little closer, though they do not crowd. They remain open, but quieter. The sky above shows thin movement. Clouds drift so slowly that it feels as though the sky itself is resting. No shadows shift dramatically. No light changes suddenly. Everything remains balanced. Somewhere far away there may be a sound. It could be wood settling. It could be distant movement. It does not repeat. It fades before it becomes familiar. Silence returns undisturbed. Your shoulders sink slightly lower, not because you are relaxing on purpose, but because there is nothing left to hold. Your arms feel heavier now, comfortably heavy. Your hands hang loosely, fingers relaxed. The path continues forward without variation. You realize that direction no longer matters. Forward feels the same as standing still. Time feels thinner here. Moments stretch and dissolve. You are not aware of passing minutes, only of presence. The land changes again, almost imperceptibly. The ground becomes softer beneath your feet, not loose, just more forgiving. As if many footsteps have passed this way without concern. You slow down again. Movement feels optional. You could stop here or continue forever. Both would feel the same. You pause, standing quietly. Nothing responds to your stillness. The air remains neutral, the light remains unchanged. After some time, or no time at all, you begin moving again. Your steps feel lighter now, not faster, just less noticeable. The path curves gently to the side, so gently that it barely registers. Ahead, the land opens into another wide stretch, empty, undisturbed. There are no buildings here, no signs of activity, and yet it does not feel abandoned. It feels complete, as if nothing is missing. Your breathing deepens slightly, not intentionally. Your body adjusts on its own. Each breath lasts a little longer than the one before. Your chest rises smoothly, then falls. There is no effort involved. The sound of this narration may feel further away now. Words may blur together. That is expected. You do not need to follow the story. You can let it pass by without listening closely. The path continues across the open space. Your feet land softly. The ground remains supportive. Nothing slips, nothing shifts. You feel grounded, as if gravity itself has settled you gently into place. The sky above grows slightly dimmer, not dark, just softer. Colors lose intensity, edges blur. Your awareness narrows, not in a sharp way, in a gentle, inward way. Thoughts no longer form fully. They appear as fragments, then fade. There is no storyline left to follow, only movement, only breathing. The path slopes downward again just a little. Your body adjusts without thought. Steps remain even. The land around you remains quiet. No animals pass by. No voices drift through the air. Only stillness. You feel a sense of familiarity again, as if you have always known this place, not in memory, but in feeling. That familiarity brings comfort. Your body grows heavier, not tired, just settled, as if you have found the exact position where nothing needs to be held. The path levels out, flat, even. You slow to a stop, standing quietly. There is no reason to sit, no reason to lie down. Standing feels enough. Your breathing is deep now, slow, even. Each breath draws you further inward. The land around you does not change. Nothing new happens. Nothing needs to. Time loses structure completely. There is no before, no after, only now. The sound of this voice blends into the quiet. It no longer feels separate. It becomes part of the stillness. If you are aware of it, that is fine. If you are not, that is better. Your body feels safe, supported, held gently by the ground beneath you and the air around you. Thoughts dissolve before forming. Awareness drifts. Rest deepens. The path beneath you feels endless, not in a way that demands attention, in a way that releases it. Endless means there is nowhere to go, nothing to reach, nothing to miss. Your breathing continues, slow, heavy, comfortable. Nothing new will happen here. Nothing needs to. This place remains exactly as it is, and that is enough. You are free to remain, free to drift, free to rest, free to sleep. You are still here, and there is no need to question why. The quiet around you has not changed. It has only settled more deeply. The ground beneath your feet feels steady, as if it has accepted you completely. There is no sense of arrival, no feeling of progress, just presence. Your breathing continues slowly. Each breath arrives without effort. Each breath leaves without resistance. The air remains neutral. It does not cling to your skin. It does not pull away. It simply allows you to exist within it. You begin to move again, not because you decided to, but because stillness and movement feel the same here. Your steps are almost silent now, so soft that they feel more imagined than real. The path continues unchanged in shape, unchanged in purpose. It does not promise anything ahead. It does not suggest an ending. It simply continues. The land on either side feels flatter now, wider, as if the world has stretched out and relaxed. Grass grows low here, pressed down by time and repetition. No wind moves through it. No sound comes from it. It exists without asking to be noticed. The light above you shifts again, very slowly, so slowly that it feels as though the change is happening inside you rather than in the sky. Colors soften further, edges blur. The world becomes less defined, and that feels comforting. Your shoulders drop another small amount. Your neck loosens. Your jaw releases. Your face becomes smooth and still. You may no longer notice your posture. Your body holds itself without instruction. The path dips slightly, not enough to be felt as a descent, just enough to change the feeling of balance. Your body adjusts automatically. There is no hesitation. Your feet land where they should. Nothing surprises you here. Nothing interrupts. Time feels heavier now, not slower, just thicker. Moments stretch and blend together. You are no longer aware of when one moment ends and the next begins. You walk through a stretch of land that feels lived in. Not visibly, there are no buildings, no tools, no signs of people, but the feeling remains. As if days once passed here, in the same way over and over again. Wake, work, slowly. Rest when light faded. Life measured not in events but in repetition. That rhythm seems to sink into you. Your steps fall into it. Your breathing follows it. Everything aligns. The path narrows again, only slightly. Just enough to make the space feel contained. Not closed, contained, safe. The sky above remains pale, neither bright nor dark, a kind of light that does not demand attention. Clouds move without direction, or perhaps they do not move at all. It becomes difficult to tell. Somewhere far beyond your awareness there might be a sound. It does not come closer, it does not repeat. It disappears before it becomes meaningful. Silence returns unchanged. You slow again. Movement feels optional now. Your body feels heavier, not tired, just settled more deeply into itself. Your arms feel warm and heavy at your sides. Your hands feel loose, fingers relaxed. The path curves gently, so gently that it almost feels straight. Ahead, the land opens again, a wide, empty stretch. Nothing waiting, nothing hidden. The emptiness does not feel lonely, it feels complete. You walk into this open space. The ground remains smooth, supportive. It does not shift beneath you. Your feet land without sound. Your breathing deepens slightly. Each inhale lasts longer. Each exhale leaves fully. There is no pause between them, no holding, no effort. Your thoughts become even less defined. If a thought begins, it dissolves before forming words. Images fade before becoming clear. Your awareness drifts inward. The sound of this voice may feel distant now, as if it is coming from far behind you. That is exactly as it should be. You do not need to follow it. You can let it pass. The path continues through the open land. Your pace slows again, almost stopping. You feel no need to hurry. There is nowhere to reach. Time feels irrelevant. You stop walking, standing quietly. There is no reason to stop, no reason to continue. Stillness feels natural. The world does not react to your pause. The air remains neutral. The light remains steady. Your breathing continues, slow, heavy, comfortable. After a while, or immediately, you begin moving again. Your steps are softer than before, barely noticeable. The land changes subtly once more. Low shapes rise on either side of the path, not hills, just gentle forms. They do not block your view. They do not ask for attention. They simply exist. The sky begins to dim again, very slowly, as if evening is approaching but never quite arriving. Colors soften further, contrast fades, the world becomes muted. Your body responds naturally. Your eyelids feel heavier, not closing, just resting lower. Your breathing is deep now, even, automatic. You are no longer aware of starting or ending a breath. They simply happen. The sound of your steps fades completely. You are no longer aware of walking, only of being. The path beneath you feels endless, not in a way that feels overwhelming, in a way that feels reassuring. Endless means nothing needs to end, nothing needs to begin. The voice continues softly, or perhaps it does not. It becomes difficult to tell. Words blur, meaning fades, only tone remains, gentle, even, unchanging. You slow again, then stop, standing quietly. Your body feels supported from the inside, as if it knows it is safe. Thoughts dissolve completely. There is no story now, no direction, only rest. The land remains exactly as it is. The air remains still. The light remains soft. Nothing enters, nothing leaves. Time no longer has shape. Your breathing is slow, heavy, comfortable. Each breath draws you further inward, further away from effort, further into rest. Nothing new will happen here. Nothing needs to. This place does not change, and because of that you do not need to either. You are free to remain, free to drift, free to rest, free to sleep. The path continues, the land remains quiet, and everything stays the same. You are still moving, or perhaps you are no longer moving at all. It is difficult to tell, and that is perfectly fine. The world around you does not require clarity. It only requires presence. The ground beneath you feels familiar now, not because you recognize it, but because your body trusts it. Each breath moves slowly through you. There is no effort in breathing, no pause, no adjustment. The air remains steady, neither cool nor warm. It rests against your skin without sensation. The path continues beneath you, quiet and unchanged. It no longer feels like something you are following. It feels like something that simply exists. Your steps, if they are still happening, are lighter than before. So light that they barely register. Your body moves without instruction. Muscles work without effort. Balance holds itself. There is nothing to correct. The land on either side stretches outward again, wide, open, empty. Not empty in a way that feels lacking. Empty in a way that feels complete. Grass lies low and still. It does not move. It does not sound. It has been here for a long time, and it expects nothing. The light above you softens again, not fading, not brightening, just settling, as if the sky itself has decided to rest. Colors lose definition, edges blur gently, nothing stands out, nothing asks to be noticed. Your shoulders feel heavier now, not tight, not sore, just heavy in a comforting way, as if gravity has increased slightly, encouraging you to sink. Your arms hang easily, your hands feel loose, fingers relaxed, your jaw is soft, your tongue rests comfortably, your face feels smooth and still. The sound of your breathing feels deeper, not louder, just fuller. Each inhale fills you completely. Each exhale leaves without resistance. There is no space between breaths, no waiting, no holding. Time begins to lose structure again. Moments no longer feel separate. They blend into one another without edges. You pass through a stretch of land that feels especially quiet. No wind, no distant sound, not even the sense of movement. Silence feels thick here, supportive, as if it wraps gently around everything. Your awareness sinks inward. Thoughts, if they appear at all, are faint. They do not connect. They do not form meaning. They pass before you can notice them clearly. The path becomes slightly softer beneath you, not sinking, just cushioned by time. Each step feels absorbed. There is no impact, no sound. Your body responds by slowing further, almost stopping. Movement feels optional now. The path curves again, very gently, so gently that direction loses importance. Ahead, the land remains open, nothing waits, nothing changes. You feel a sense of familiarity, as if this place has always existed and always will. Not in memory, in feeling. Your breathing slows even more. Each breath lasts longer than the last. Your chest rises gently, then settles. Your body feels warm, not heated, just evenly warm, comfortable, supported. The light shifts again, so slowly that you are not sure it has changed at all. Shadows soften, then disappear. Colors flatten. The world becomes calm and even. Your eyelids feel heavier, not closing, just resting lower. Your awareness drifts. The sound of this voice becomes distant, as if it is blending into the quiet. You do not need to follow the words. You do not need to understand them. You can let them drift past you. The path beneath you feels endless, not overwhelming, reassuring. Endless means there is no deadline, no finish, no goal. You slow again, Then stop, standing quietly, or perhaps sitting, or perhaps lying down. Your body has chosen the position it needs. You do not need to decide, the world does not react, nothing changes. The air remains neutral, the ground supports you completely. Your breathing continues, slow, deep, even. Each breath draws you further inward, further away from effort, further into rest. Your thoughts fade almost entirely now. Words lose meaning, sounds lose shape. Only sensation remains, and even that begins to soften. The silence deepens, it does not feel empty, it feels full, as if it holds you. Time no longer moves forward, it simply exists. The voice, if it is still present, feels like part of the background, not separate, not important, just there. Your body feels heavy now, not tired, not weak, heavy in a grounding way, as if you are settling into the earth itself. Your breathing becomes automatic. You no longer notice when one breath ends and the next begins. They flow together. Smooth, uninterrupted, the world remains exactly the same. Nothing enters, nothing leaves. There are no events here. No moments to remember, no moments to miss. You are free from effort, free from expectation, free from attention. The land stays quiet. The path remains beneath you. The air stays still. Nothing will change suddenly. Nothing will ask anything of you. This place does not require awareness. It does not require listening. It simply allows rest. You may already be drifting, you may already be asleep, and if you are still awake, that is also fine. There is no rush, no pressure. Sleep will arrive when it arrives. Until then, everything remains steady, calm, unchanging. The path continues, the world stays quiet, and nothing needs to happen. You are still here, or perhaps you are no longer aware of being anywhere at all. Both feel the same now. The world around you has not changed. It has only become quieter. The ground continues to support you without effort. It does not shift. It does not respond. It simply holds. Your breathing moves slowly through you, so slowly that it feels as though each breath blends into the next. There is no pause between them, no beginning, no end, just a gentle rhythm that no longer needs attention. The air remains neutral. It does not cool, it does not warm. It rests around you without sensation. If you are still aware of your body, you may notice how heavy it feels now. Not tired, not weak. Heavy in a comforting way, as if gravity has increased just enough to keep you perfectly still. Your shoulders rest fully, your arms feel settled. Your hands remain loose and open, your fingers do not move. They have no reason to. Your jaw remains soft. Your tongue rests naturally. Your face feels smooth and still. There is no tension left to release. The path beneath you no longer feels like a path. It feels like part of you, as if you and the ground are no longer separate. Movement, if it happens at all, is so subtle that it does not register. You may still be walking, you may be standing, you may be lying down. Your body knows you do not need to. Time has lost its edges. Moments no longer arrive or leave. They simply exist, blending together into something without shape. The land around you feels vast and quiet, wide open, empty. Not empty in a lonely way, empty in a peaceful way. Nothing is missing here. Nothing is expected. Grass lies still. Air remains unmoving, there are no sounds, no distant noises, no subtle disturbances. Silence feels complete. Your awareness drifts further inward. Thoughts no longer form. If something begins to appear, it fades before becoming clear. There is no story now, no memory, no anticipation, just rest. The light, if it still exists, feels soft and distant, not bright, not dark, as if the world is suspended in a permanent moment of evening. Shadows do not move, colors do not change, everything remains even. Your breathing deepens again. Each inhale fills you completely. Each exhale empties you fully. There is no effort, no control. Your body breathes itself. You no longer notice the sound of this voice, or perhaps you notice it only as a gentle presence. Words lose meaning. Tone remains soft, even, unchanging. The path, the land, the air, all remain exactly as they are. Nothing enters, nothing leaves, nothing shifts. Your body sinks deeper into stillness. Muscles release without instruction. Bones feel supported. There is no discomfort, no pressure, only balance. The sense of direction fades. There is no forward, no backward, no up, no down. Space itself feels less defined. You are not moving through the world is simply holding you. Breathing continues, slow, heavy, comfortable. Each breath carries you further into rest, further away from awareness, further away from effort. Time no longer passes, it no longer moves, it simply exists. If sleep has already arrived, this voice fades naturally. If sleep has not arrived yet, there is no need to hurry. This place remains available, safe, quiet, unchanging. Your body feels completely supported now, as if it has settled into the exact position it needs. There is no adjustment left to make, no movement required. The silence deepens further, not empty, full, protective, gentle. You are not required to listen, you are not required to stay awake. You are free to drift, to rest, free to sleep. Nothing will change suddenly, nothing will interrupt. The world remains calm, the land remains quiet, the path continues without effort, and everything stays the same. You are no longer waiting for anything. There is nothing left to arrive, nothing left to finish. The moment you are in feels complete on its own. Your breathing continues slowly, without sound, without effort. It feels as though each breath lasts longer than the last, not because it changes, but because time itself has softened. Your body feels deeply settled now, not heavy, not light, simply supported, as if the space beneath you knows exactly how to hold you. Your shoulders rest fully downward, your arms no longer register their position, your hands remain still, fingers relaxed, without sensation. Your legs feel distant, present, but no longer important. Your feet feel warm and unmoving. There is no awareness of balance anymore. You do not need to stand, you do not need to walk, you do not need to lie down. Your body has already chosen what it needs. The world around you feels quiet in a way that cannot be disturbed. There are no small sounds hiding in the distance, no faint movements, no background activity. Silence here is complete. It does not wait. It does not respond. It simply exists. If thoughts try to appear, they do so very slowly, so slowly that they fade before forming into words. There is nothing to think about, no direction to follow, no memory to replay. Your awareness drifts gently like something floating on still water. There are no ripples, no edges, just rest. The land around you feels unchanged, wide, open, empty. Not empty in a hollow way, empty in a finished way. Nothing was removed, nothing was forgotten. Everything that needs to be here is already here. The air remains neutral. It does not touch your skin. It does not move past you. It simply surrounds you. Breathing feels slower again, so slow that it is almost unnoticeable. Your chest rises, then rests, then rises again. Each breath blends into the next. You are no longer aware of starting or stopping. The sound of this narration may feel distant now, or it may feel like part of the silence itself. Either way is fine. You do not need to follow the words. You do not need to understand them. They are only here to remain gentle. The sense of time fades even further. Minutes no longer feel different from moments. There is no sense of duration, only stillness. Your body feels deeply relaxed, not loose, not collapsed. Relaxed in a balanced way. As if every muscle has found its natural resting place. Your jaw remains soft, your tongue rests easily, your face remains smooth. There is no expression, no emotion, just rest. The light, if it exists at all, feels dim and constant. It does not change, it does not shift. There are no shadows, no highlights. Everything feels evenly quiet. The ground beneath you remains steady, unmoving, reliable. It does not ask anything from you. It does not respond. It simply holds. You are not moving through this place. This place is holding you. Awareness continues to drift inward, further, deeper. Thoughts dissolve completely now. There is no effort to let them go. They simply are not needed. Your breathing deepens slightly, then slows again. Each breath gently pulls you further into rest, further away from alertness, further away from effort. There is nothing that could wake you suddenly. Nothing that could surprise you, nothing that could change the calm. Everything remains exactly as it is. If sleep has already arrived, this voice becomes unnecessary. If sleep has not arrived yet, there is no urgency. This place will wait. It does not move forward. It does not move back. It remains. Your body sinks further into stillness, as if gravity itself has softened, as if the space around you has thickened, holding you gently in place. There is no reason to move, no reason to adjust, no reason to listen. Breathing continues, slow, even, comfortable. The silence grows deeper, not louder, not darker, deeper, as if it surrounds you completely. Nothing enters, nothing leaves, nothing begins, nothing ends. You are safe here, undisturbed, unaware, free to rest, free to drift, free to sleep. Nothing more will happen, and nothing needs to. There is no need to go anywhere now. You are already where you need to be. Nothing ahead is waiting for you. Nothing behind is calling you back. Everything feels paused, but not frozen. Paused in a gentle, natural way. Your breathing continues quietly. So quiet that it almost disappears. Your body feels settled in a way that does not require awareness. You are not checking your position. You are not adjusting anything. Your body already knows how to rest. There is no sense of effort left, no sense of holding, no sense of releasing, just being. Your awareness feels distant now, as if it has stepped slightly away from the body without leaving it. You are present, but not focused. The idea of focus no longer matters. Thoughts do not form anymore, and if they try, they fade before you can notice them. There is no curiosity, no anticipation, no memory pulling you, no future appearing. The moment stretches softly, without edges, without shape, without direction. Silence fills everything evenly, not thick, not thin, just complete. There are no sounds behind this silence, no faint movement, no background noise, nothing hidden, nothing approaching. Everything remains still. Your breathing continues, slow, even, comfortable. The chest rises slightly, then rests for a long moment, then rises again. Each breath feels the same. There is no difference between them. Time feels unnecessary here. Seconds have no meaning. Minutes do not exist. There is no counting, no passing, just stillness. Your muscles remain relaxed, not loose, not tense, resting exactly where they belong. Your face feels smooth and neutral. No expression remains. Your eyes rest without effort. Your jaw stays soft. Your tongue rests naturally. Nothing needs to change. Your arms feel distant. Your hands feel warm and quiet. Your fingers remain still. Your legs feel grounded. Your feet feel supported. There is no sensation asking for attention. Everything feels complete. The space around you does not move, it does not expand, it does not contract. It simply holds. There is no temperature to notice, no texture, no direction. The air feels neutral and unmoving. It does not touch, it does not pass. It simply exists. Awareness continues to fade gently, not disappearing, just becoming less important. Like a light dimming slowly without ever turning off completely. If sleep has already arrived, this voice blends into it. If sleep has not arrived yet, there is no concern, there is no hurry. This place will not change. Nothing will happen suddenly. Nothing will interrupt this stillness. Your breathing grows slower again, so slow that the pauses feel longer. Each pause feels comfortable, natural, safe. The idea of listening fades. The idea of understanding fades. Words lose their shape. They become sound, then silence. You do not need to follow anything anymore. You do not need to stay awake. You do not need to let go. Everything is already happening on its own. Your body remains deeply relaxed. Your mind remains empty and quiet. Your awareness rests without direction. There is no edge between being awake and asleep here. Only softness, only rest, only stillness. Nothing enters this place. Nothing leaves it. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to. You remain supported, you remain undisturbed, you remain safe. Breathing continues, slow, even, barely noticeable. Silence deepens again, not darker, not heavier, just deeper. As if it surrounds you completely. There is no inside, there is no outside, just rest. The sense of self softens, not disappearing, just becoming unimportant. There is no label, no name, no role, no responsibility, only presence without effort. The world does not require anything from you, and you do not require anything from it. This moment remains open and still, without beginning, without end. If sleep comes now, nothing will change. If sleep has already come, nothing will change. Everything stays exactly the same. Quiet, stable, undisturbed, free, resting. There is nothing left to listen to now, not because something has ended, but because nothing more is needed. Your body has already found the place it wants to stay. Your mind has already stepped away. There is no distance between rest and sleep anymore. Only softness remains. Breathing continues on its own. Slow, quiet, barely noticeable. Each breath feels familiar. There is no difference between one and the next. No beginning, no ending, just continuation. Your body feels heavy in the most comfortable way, not pulling downward, not sinking, simply resting, as if it has always been here. Your awareness does not need to move, it does not need to focus, it does not need to drift. It simply stays without effort. There is no reason to think, and no reason not to. Thoughts do not form, and if they try, they dissolve before becoming clear. The space around you feels endless, but not wide, not narrow, just neutral. There are no edges to notice, no boundaries, no contrast. Everything feels the same. Even silence feels distant now, not loud, not quiet, just present. Your breathing slows again. The pause between breaths becomes longer, comfortable, safe, natural. Your chest rises slightly, rests, and lowers without effort. Nothing asks for attention. Nothing requires control. Your muscles remain relaxed without instruction. Your face remains neutral. Your eyes rest deeply. Your jaw stays soft. Your tongue rests quietly. There is no sensation that needs naming, no feeling that needs describing. Everything has already settled. Time feels unnecessary here. There is no awareness of seconds, no awareness of minutes. The idea of time fades gently, like something no longer useful. Your body temperature feels balanced, neither warm nor cool, just right. The air does not move, it does not touch, it does not change, it simply exists without interaction. Your awareness continues to soften, not disappearing, just becoming unimportant, like background light fading naturally at night. You are not trying to sleep, you are not waiting for sleep. Sleep is already present. It has been here quietly. Your body recognizes this state. It has visited it many times before. It knows exactly what to do. There is no edge between awake and asleep. Only a smooth blending, nothing to cross, nothing to notice. Breathing continues, slow, even, effortless. The pauses between breaths feel longer now, so long that you stop noticing them. The body breathes without awareness, the mind rests without thought. The sense of self becomes very light, not gone, just distant, like a whisper far away. There is no name here, no identity, no role, no story, just rest. The world outside no longer exists, not because it disappeared, but because it no longer matters. Nothing from outside reaches this place. Nothing from inside needs to go out. Everything remains contained, safe, still. Your body remains fully supported. Whatever surface you are resting on feels perfect. It does not press. It does not resist. It simply holds. Your arms feel heavy and distant. Your hands feel warm. Your fingers remain still. Your legs feel settled. Your feet feel relaxed. There is no impulse to move, no impulse to adjust, no impulse to think. The silence deepens again, not darker, not heavier, just deeper. like sinking into calm water that does not move. Awareness fades another layer, not suddenly, not completely, just enough. Words lose meaning, sounds lose shape. Listening stops being active, it becomes passive, then unnecessary. Sleep spreads evenly, without rush, without force, without signal. The body accepts it naturally, the mind does not resist. There is nothing to resist. Breathing continues quietly. Slower now, so slow that it feels far away. Each breath blends into the next. The pauses feel infinite, comfortable, safe. Your body is completely at rest. Your mind is completely quiet. Your awareness floats softly without direction. There is no effort, no intention, no control. Everything happens on its own. This place does not change. It does not move forward. It does not move backward. It simply remains. If sleep deepens, this place remains. If sleep lightens, this place remains. Nothing pulls you out. Nothing calls you back. Nothing interrupts. There is no sound that matters, no thought that matters, no feeling that matters. Only rest, only stillness, only quiet. Breathing continues, soft, even, barely there. Your body remains deeply relaxed, your mind remains empty, your awareness rests without form. Sleep settles fully now, not arriving, not beginning, just continuing. This state holds you gently, without end, without effort, without awareness. Nothing more is needed, nothing more will happen. Everything stays calm, everything stays quiet, everything stays still.